the public in what organic is. I mean, we're not formally collaborating with them, not at this particular time, but everything takes so much work, right? So we have a lot of farmers taking our courses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we do, and we all know each other, right? Many of us are farmers, but it was really important to sort of conceptually and on the large scale to support what they do and not be in contradiction and not to water down their work.
Essentially, the pests, what we call pests, are really important messengers. They're a symptom. They're not the cause. They're the symptom. They arise when conditions are degraded to the point that the trees or whatever are sick. And so what is the pesticide approach is sort of a minimalistic approach in terms of trying to get things down to some degree where you get something you can sell. Maybe that sounds a little hard, but the organic approach is actually trying to support life processes. So that you have healthy plants and consequently healthy animals and healthy people. And we're living in a time. People talk about health, but I don't know. Just about every individual family is touched by cancer and diabetes and heart disease.
Yeah.
These are epidemics that are occurring now in our society, and people are saying, "Oh, well, it's not the organic, it's not the pesticides, it's not the, there's probably pesticides in this paper. It's put in the pulp to keep it from spoiling." I mean, this idea is endemic in our society in so many different things. We've got to learn how to do things differently.
I think what Michael was trying to say is that organic gardening, organic farming, organic everything is very much about recognizing the connection between soil health and human health. Whether or plant health, if we're staying in the ornamental sector. Because without healthy soil, without the nutrition, balanced, full nutritional resources in the soil that the plants can then absorb and be healthy and have the nutrition they require, then the animals that eat these plants can get full nutrition from the plants that they eat, and then we eat the animals and the plants and we can get our full nutrition and health from it. That's the circle we're trying to close. And that's the thinking is when we teach organic horticulture, it's all about soil nutrition. That's what it is. It's about getting the soil to the state where it can impart the best nutrition to the plants. So, but people who come from the pesticide perspective, the pesticide use perspective, are not seeing it. They're not used to managing nutrition and health. They're used to managing diseases and pests. Right? So it's a complete total shift in how you look at things.
And many of those practices are really detrimental to the soil.
Well, all the pesticides. And no matter whether you call them hard pesticides or soft pesticides, they're not addressing the underlying cause. Plant disease is not a pesticide deficiency, right? No matter what kind of pesticide you're looking at, plant disease is a nutrient deficiency. So we got to address the nutrients. And it's it's actually not very difficult. And making that whole shift, I call it a paradigm shift. I wrote a book, a textbook. It's actually called Working with Nature Shifting Paradigms, and I put people through the paradigm shift in that book, and we use it as a textbook. It's very scientific, and I've got 800 scientific references in that and all that kind of stuff. But once you see that, it's totally, when you're looking at something from a 180-degree different perspective. But once you're there, you can't unsee it. And once you're there, it's almost like you're there. And then everything looks different, and you simply do things differently. And once you've learned it in gardening, once you've learned it in horticulture and agriculture, you can also see how that exact same perspective applies to, every part of your life. You now look at healthcare differently. You look at your neighborhoods differently. You look at your relationships differently. You look at your job differently. You look at the country differently and international relations differently and everything, right? So we're not there trying to create social reform, but because we are teaching gardening, people make those connections all by themselves. Looking at life totally differently. Almost like looking at life rather than death. Because pesticides is that. They're there to kill. Right? You're so in a killing mode in almost every aspect of our lives. internationally, nationally, gardening-wise, health-wise.
Just about all pesticides are formulated to interfere in some aspect of the respiration, how the plants or pests or whatever utilize energy, utilize their food. And so proteins get blocked or whatever, and respiration stops and the plant dies. We have exactly the same happen.
Oh yeah. Right.
And so it's absolutely ludicrous to think that, well, it applies to the plant, it doesn't apply to us. That's not good thinking. But we're told that. We're told that again and again.
Well, when you ask me what advice I have, I say do what you love. Nobody loves killing, and nobody loves working for companies that are not ethical. So, but we keep supporting them, right? We keep supporting them with our time, with our lives, with the work we do. We don't have to. Really, we don't have to. If we just simply honored ourselves and our own love, that for whatever it is that we really love, and then expanded on that, worked with that, then we would have very different societies.
You're right.
We'd have very different societies.
Oh, yes.
There's been a really big shift in attitudes over the last actually, one of the reasons the college was started was the conventional education institutions were not interested in organic horticulture when we started doing this. And so we decided, well, actually Heidi decided.
It's sort of
Yeah, I mean, we're talking with Humber College. We're going to be talking with the Toronto Botanical Garden. They've shown some interest in perhaps collaborating with us to develop some programs. We're talking with Landscape Ontario, which is the industry association, and they've shown some interest in the professional programs, the professional certification, the standards, and seeing how they can help their members, of course, make the transition. So, we're hoping something will develop out of these discussions. The openness is there, the willingness to change, whether probably spurred by the pesticide legislation, I'm sure, certainly in the industry, in the landscape industry, that seems to give them all a great big push. But when I look at the people I had in my class the last 3 days in the soils class I taught, I mean, conventional gardeners, but already totally fully aware of that. Much of what they were doing wasn't working. They just didn't know how to do differently. And once they could see a different sort of perspective, it's like, oh, I get it. I can do this. I'm going to tell everybody at my work. I'm going to tell all my clients. And already the wheels are turning. How can I best do this? And how can I educate them in a way that they'll get it? And it's fascinating. It's going to happen quite quickly.